Welcome to the Road to the Ryder Cup, hosted by Dr. Jeff Poplarski and my dad, PGA golf professional Frank Darby. Let's go USA.
Okay, thank you, Charlotte Darby. And this is Frank Darby and Dr. Jeff Poplarski with the Road to the Ryder Cup podcast. So, hey, listen, we've had a number of great shows, great guests, and I'm looking forward to this show and our upcoming guest, Larry Schwartz. So let me throw this over to my co-host, Dr. Jeff Poplarski.
Yeah, the Super Bowl of golf, man, 153 days. Man, this is going to be an incredible experience for the people on Long Island, the people in New York, and also people just around the world, where the anticipation is just, you could feel it. It's palpable at Bethpage. But our guest is certainly dialed into this event. Larry Schwartz is the Chief Strategic Officer for a company called OTG that does food and beverages for many airports in the United States and Canada. But he is the general chairman of the Ryder Cup of 2025. He sat on the executive committee during the 19 PGA Championship at Bethpage Black. He's been the advisor to the United States Golf Association during the 18 U.S. Open at Shinnecock and the 20 U.S. Open at Winged Foot. I want to talk to him about COVID in 20 at Winged Foot for sure. He was the recipient of the 2021 Sam Snead Award for his contribution to golf, which is given by the PGA in the Mets section. And then his political contacts are about as strong as you could get. He was the secretary for Governor Andrew Cuomo, along with being a senior advisor. He was also the secretary to Governor Patterson, and he was also the deputy county executive and chief advisor in Westchester County to Andrew Spano. So we would like to welcome Larry Schwartz. Larry, just some opening comments about the Ryder Cup in 2025.
Well, I'm so excited. There's no one in the state of New York that's more excited than I am about the Ryder Cup. I've been sitting here waiting for at least 12 years for this day to come. It's just around the corner. As you said, Jeff, this is the Super Bowl of golf. There is no greater golf event that's played than the Ryder Cup, and we get it every 2 years here or every 4 years here in the United States. And the last time the Ryder Cup was played in New York, I think it was 1993. It was in Oak Hill. I was there for that Ryder Cup. This is great for the state of New York. It's great for New York State golf. It's great for golfers. And I believe it's going to be the best Ryder Cup in the history of Ryder Cups when we have it at Bethpage Black. New York has the smartest, most passionate sports fans, even though there'll be fans from all over the world coming to Bethpage Black. But it's just going to be a great event. And I'm glad that I'm associated with it and that I'm associated with the PGA of America, who puts the Ryder Cup on.
Hey, Larry, I've been saying this for the last 5 or 6 months that I think the Ryder Cup should be every year. I mean, I love the President's Cup as well, but this Ryder Cup is just such a anticipated event. And then with your love of New York and golf and everything else, do you think this is going to be the biggest event ever here in New York?
Absolutely. There's no question about it. I love when we have U.S. Opens and PGA Championships in New York. We have another U.S. Open next year at Shinnecock again. It's going to be a great event. The PGA Championships at Oak Hill have been fantastic. But there's only one Ryder Cup, okay? And it's going to be off the charts. You're going to have 50,000 plus screaming fans out on the golf course cheering both the European team and mostly the American team. I know the American players love Bethpage Black. It's just going to be a great event. You're in New York. You're next to New York City. It's just going to be it's a great opportunity to show off the Black course, which is one of the best courses in the United States. And it's just great for New York. And because a lot of people don't realize that Bethpage Black is a municipal course. It's not a private country club. It's owned by the state of New York. It's run by the state of New York. So like I said, this is great to me for the PGA of America. It's great for the state of New York. And I couldn't be happier for Governor Hochul, the state legislature, everybody, the Long Island delegation. It's a win-win for everyone. It's a win-win for golf, and all the benefits that a Ryder Cup brings.
Yeah, Larry, I know you went. I think you were involved with the President's Cup at Liberty. Is that correct? Right? You were involved with that one.
I got Charlie Zink at the time, who was the chief operating officer, reached out to me, and I tried to provide some help to him off the course. Yes.
Yeah. So give us a little comparison between a President's Cup and a Ryder Cup. Were there 2 or 3 things that maybe stand out that you could tell our viewers?
Look, I think President's Cup are great. I don't want to diminish the President's Cup, but there's only one Ryder Cup. The history of the Ryder Cup, there's nothing to compare to it. The President's Cup is a lot newer, yet it's players from the rest of the world as opposed to Europe versus USA. But there's just so much history with the Ryder Cup that it just it's unique. It stands alone. The President's Cup is a great event, but the intensity, the rivalry, the fan participation, while it's great at the President's Cup, nothing compares to a Ryder Cup. Not a major championship, not the President's Cup. The Ryder Cup is number one. The others are great events, and I love them. And I was happy to be associated with the President's Cup when it was at Liberty National for the PGA and America won. But the Ryder Cup stands separate and apart from everything else.
Yeah, I definitely like the way that this has all come together here, and I especially love it that one of my former players, Keegan Bradley, is the this year's Ryder Cup captain as well. But it's almost a shame that this is such an anticipated event. It's going to be such a wonderful event, but this is going to be it for quite a while. The next time on that rotation is going to be who knows, 20, 30 years. And I hope I'm still around to see it. Jeff will be. Larry, Jeff's just a little kid around us here.
I plan on being around if we can get another one. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Larry, speaking of getting one, one of the things I wanted to ask you, because I know you have some intimate knowledge in 2012, having a conversation with Pete Bavacqua, who I believe was the president of the PGA, or what was he?
CEO.
Yeah, he was the CEO in 2012. He was a friend of yours. You had met him for the Wingfoot U.S. Open in 2006. Tell us about that conversation you had with Pete in 12, and how you even get a Ryder Cup coming to your facility.
Well, I became very good friends with Pete, as you mentioned, Jeff, in 2006 when I was a deputy county executive in Westchester, and we had the U.S. Open at Wingfoot. He worked for the USGA, and he needed help, and he and I worked together, and we became friends after the U.S. Open. And when he became CEO of the PGA of America, I was the secretary to the governor, Governor Cuomo. And one day I got a call from Pete, and after we were, just catching up, he said, "I have a question for you." And I said, "What?" And he goes, "What is the possibility of having the PGA Championship and the Ryder Cup played at Bethpage Black?" And this is a true story. And I said, "The Ryder Cup?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Done." And from that came the 2019 PGA Championship. I lobbied like hell to get the Ryder Cup in 2020. They were negotiating to have it at Whistling Straits, and Whistling Straits won out. So Bethpage Black got 2024. I went to Governor Cuomo and I said, "This is the greatest thing that could ever happen to Bethpage Black in the state of New York from a golf perspective." And we had a big event at Bethpage sometime later after we got the contract signed. And everybody turned out for it. It was just a great day when we made that announcement. for New York golf and for golf in general and for the state.
You know, Larry, it's kind of cool right now these days with and you're affiliated and a consultant with the USGA and the PGA, and even the Masters is involved. It's kind of nice how we're seeing that all these organizations are going back in to neighboring golf courses and putting a lot of money into restoring golf courses, getting the old public golf courses back up to shape. I know the Masters is doing Augusta Country Club or one of those courses down there, and they're going to call it the Patch. It's just a little public golf course right there. So, hey, listen, you've been instrumental in just as actively involved as you are in golf. So, you know, thank you for being so involved in that.
Look, my father introduced me to the game of golf in the 60s. I would sit in front of a TV and watch it with him. He got me some lessons when I was 13, 14 years old. You know, golf has enriched my life, but more importantly, my association with the PGA of America and all the people associated with that back in 2012 and even today, the USGA, these are all great people. And my association and friendship with them and working with them and being able to help, you know, put on professional golf events or just help golf in general has enriched my life, and I will always remember my friendships and my associations with all these people in the game of golf. You know, caddies, professional players, the people that all work behind the scenes, even the volunteers. It's just amazing. And Frank, you understand this, and Jeff, because you've been involved with a lot of championships. There are so many unsung heroes that are out there. There are people that volunteer. Without them, these events could not be as successful as they've been. They do the job, and because they love golf, right? And they love the game. So it's just been a great relationship, and it's just been a great experience for me. And like I said, it's enriched my life, and it's a memory that will last with me forever.
You know, Larry, it's really interesting, and you just kind of got onto that a little bit right there. But golf is such a different kind of sport. You know, I mean, and I love basketball, I love football, I love all the other sports. But it's not, you don't just have to be a great player like in the other sports. In golf, for some reason, you go out and make a couple of swings, and you're passionate about this game by the time you finish the round. So, and it's amazing how it just, as you get a little bit better and better, how that passion just keeps going on inside you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, everyone gets addicted to this game, and there's nothing more frustrating when you hit a bad shot, but there's no better feeling when you hit the shot. And you want that feeling again and again, and that's what you're doing. When you hit it flush, you want to feel that have that feeling happen over and over again. So you keep coming back, and that's, I think, what we all do in this game. You know, again, it's just a great branding opportunity for New York State. And, you know, like I said, I want to keep seeing, whether it's the PGA Tour, the PGA of America, the USGA, you know, bring more, you know, championship venues. And it doesn't always have to be a major. There's so many other great events, Walker Cup events, US amateur events, right? We have so many great golf courses here in the Met section. So hopefully we can take advantage of it.
You know what? We're just going to go to commercial break and hear from our sponsor, the Tunnel to Towers. Don't forget, you could go on T2T.org. We have $11 a month campaign where you could donate $11 a month to assist with our American heroes. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Gary Player. I'm a professional golfer. I've won 165 tournaments, and I'm one of 5 golfers to achieve a Grand Slam career victory. But what means more to me than all of this is my ability to give back and do good, particularly to the United States of America. That's why I'm committed to helping Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Good to see you, Frank. Good to see you, Darby. How you doing?
You're one of the most successful golfers that ever played the game. You're an incredible human being, but you joined the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. You see the work we're doing, and you wanted to help us raise money because how much you love America.
And I'll never forget one of the days I went for you in Miami. This lady was on duty with her husband, and the police. She heard that her husband had just been killed. Now she's got 2 children. What's the first thought that comes to your mind? How am I going to support these children? How am I going to give them an education? How am I going to give them a normal life? What am I going to do with my mortgage? Tunnel to Towers is right there, across the board. I mean, what you do is fantastic.
Because you know the sacrifice that was made for our country to give us this beautiful country.
I doubt if there's anybody that loves the country more than I do. And I have said gratitude for what this country has not only done for me, but what it's done for the world.
And as a foundation, you know, we're there to help these families after they lose their loved one and they have young families left behind. And I know you're here to join us on that.
Tunnel to Towers is working every day to support America's greatest heroes. Please donate $11 a month at t2t.org. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Let us do good.
Okay, welcome back to the Road to the Ryder Cup. And hey, we're speaking with Larry Schwartz. And Larry, you know, Jeff mentioned to me that you're a member at one of my favorite clubs up there in Westchester at Metropolis. What a great place. And, you know, Craig Thomas is a really good friend of mine. And as old as I am, I loved Gene Borick. I used to get to set that golf course up a lot for Met Section events. And Gene Borick would always come out when I was going on the golf course and ride around with me for 2 or 3 hours. And every whole location I placed, he used to give me a story. So usually my preps would be about an hour. But going out there with Gene, between hitting shots, I'd be out there for half a day.
Yeah, Metropolis is a great golf course. I think it's underrated. It doesn't get the kind of publicity and the attention that it deserves. It's right up there with any other of our great golf courses here in the Met section. Frank, I'm inviting you and Jeff to come out and play Metropolis as my guest, as the club's guest. So we'll find a fourth. So let me know when you can come out before the Ryder Cup. And if you can, Frank, maybe you can convince Keegan to join us, right?
Well, Larry, you may have to find more than that because you know what? I just can't go out and play with Dr. Jeff Poplarski. Come on, give me a break, Larry.
Come on. So, yeah, listen, I had the privilege of playing 9 holes many years ago with Gene. He's just a great guy. Was a great player, as you stated. Craig Thomas is our great head pro. He's been a great player in our section for many, many years. Just qualified to the first round of the for the U.S. Senior Open, and just to, let everyone know what a great golf course Metropolis is. Last year, Metropolis was one of the qualifying courses for the U.S. Senior Open, and everyone that played at Metropolis, the winning score was over par. No one broke par, and Metropolis is 6,900 from the tips. And no one broke par. And that's a credit to also our superintendent, Dave McCaffrey.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, David's done a great job there, and you redesigned the place. And, the driving range is now wonderful as well. So everything about that place is great.
Yep.
Larry, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions, knowing that you're involved with New York tourism. I know when we drive around Long Island, New York State, we always see those signs on the expressways and the state parkways, New York tourism. Tell us the impact, the projected impact of the Ryder Cup to Long Island, New York State. What does that look like from a tourism standpoint?
Look, I think the economic benefits for having the Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black will probably exceed over $200 million when all is said and done. When you think about the sales tax from ticket sales, from hospitality sales, from merchandising sales, and everything else that goes on, hotel tax that's collected, from the tens of thousands of people that will be staying in hotels in New York City, Long Island, during the week leading up to the Ryder Cup and the week of the Ryder Cup. All the economic benefits, income tax from all the jobs, temporary jobs that are created, building out all the concession facilities, the arena around the first tee, on and on and on. And you can't even equate the value of all the media attention that New York State will receive and Bethpage will receive leading up and during the Ryder Cup, right? And the same thing when they had the PGA Championship. I think it was about $150 million benefit to the state of New York. Oak Hill, when it's played up in Rochester, the economic benefit to that whole Rochester region is well in excess of $100 million. So it's a win-win for golf. It's a win-win for tourism. It's a win-win for, economic development here in the state of New York and the region. And that's why it's so important to keep, attracting them, getting, major golf championships to be played in New York is getting harder and harder because it's becoming more competitive. There are other states that are rolling out the red carpet. I was told that Oakmont, where the U.S. Open is being played, state of Pennsylvania gave Oakmont $13 million for improvements to the club. That was state taxpayer money because state of Pennsylvania, I'm sure Governor Shapiro realized the financial and economic benefits of having a U.S. Open in the state of Pennsylvania. So,
Sure.
Wow. That's really cool. Hey, Larry, so let me just ask you. So if someone came out and said, all right, we're going to give you the best spot. We're going to give you 2 spots that nobody will be near you at the Ryder Cup. What holes and where would you like to sit and watch?
that's a great question, Frank. Obviously with the Ryder Cup, depending on how competitive the matches are, you don't know if they're going to end on 18 or they're going to end on 15. I've always loved to be where you can watch them on 1, you can watch them come up 17, so I kind of and tee off on 15. 15 is probably my favorite hole at Bethpage Black. I also love hole number 5, which I think is one of the most difficult holes. That second approach shot to the green is like, is a bear. But listen, I think it's going to be crazy when they finish the 6,000 seat arena on the first tee. If you can get into that, arena and sit there when they introduce the players and teeing off, that is so intense. That's just a great place to be. And look, any way you show up, a long one, on the 4th hole, I just have so many great memories. Every seat is a great seat at Bethpage. It's so wide open. It's so big. Everyone's going to have a great opportunity to watch all the matches.
Yes.
Yeah, Larry, I know you were one of the commissioners for the MTA. It's no pun intended. Speaking about driving, driving to the Ryder Cup, we had Brian Carnes on a couple of weeks ago,
Right.
and he was saying how the experience of going to the Ryder Cup starts when you get in the car or you get on the train. Could you tell us something? What's going to go down with the Long Island Railroad? What are they going to? Is they going to play a big part with this? How many people are going to be transferred from the railroad, maybe to New York City or even out in Eastern Long Island, coming into that Farmingdale Bethpage area? Any thoughts about that?
The MTA and Long Island Railroad have always been a great partner with both the PGA of America and the USGA because, we had the 2019 PGA Championship. We had the 2018 U.S. Open out at Shinnecock. So the Long Island Railroad has a lot of experience, and it's been a great partnership. They make sure that they have plenty of trains. They work together with the PGA of America on the schedule of when the trains need to be going back and forth between to Farmingdale and back into the city. A lot of people are going to be staying in New York City, even though I think most of the hotels, the hotels on Long Island don't have the capacity to for everyone to go be out there. And a lot of people are going to, when they come to watch the Ryder Cup, they're going to spend time in New York City as well, maybe going to a show, doing some sightseeing. So the ability to go to Penn Station and just hop on a train and go out there and then hop on a shuttle bus, that's the best way to go. If you want to see the Ryder Cup, I mean, you can get in an Uber, right? Or a Lyft. And but if I was giving someone advice, I'd just say, get on the train, get to Farmingdale, get on a shuttle bus, get to the golf course, and then enjoy yourself and don't worry about it. And it's been a great partnership. It's been very successful in the past, and I have no doubt it will be come September.
Hey, Larry, I hope they're going to have some special Ryder Cup trains there, like the old bar cars they used to have on the Long Island Railroad. You think that might be a possibility?
I hope they wrapped some of the trains with the Ryder Cup logo. But
yeah.
I don't know if we're going to have any dedicated Ryder Cup cars. I think there's a balance between, what government can do, as opposed to what the private sector would like. But there's a great partnership with Long Island Railroad and PGA of America. And, they're working all the logistics out on what everyone needs.
Cool. Frank, we had and Larry, we had the NFL draft last night.
Yeah.
Watching that, all the Giant and Jet fans anticipating who the picks are going to be. But somebody told me that you're the ultimate blocker and tackler when you're going to have a Ryder Cup or you're going to have a PGA championship. That you're the man or the person that needs to be called right away. And obviously the stories you reflected back to us are showing us the importance of working with Larry Schwartz for sure. Any thoughts about that?
Well, that's very humbling for if the PGA of America or the USGA are saying that about Larry Schwartz. That's I'm very humbled by that. I love the game. I love the state that I was born in and where I'll die, right? And so whatever I can do, whatever experience or knowledge that I can provide, which is generally off the golf course. They don't need my help in running the tournament, right? That's not my area of expertise. My area of expertise is how I can help them deal with all the things that go on off the golf course that impact what goes on the golf course. And to the extent that I've been able to help the PGA of America, the PGA Tour, the USGA over the years, then it's a win-win. I was honored when they gave me the Sam Snead Award in 2021. It wasn't something I lobbied for. It was something the Met PGA came to me about, and it was just in recognition for my efforts to bring major golf championships to the state, as well as getting our golf courses reopened during COVID. And, I'm glad I was able to do that for the game of golf. And I was glad that I was able to help the USGA pull off the US Open in the middle of COVID at Winged Foot, which was a huge success. I mean, the only sad part was that we couldn't have fans, on the course, but everything else, it was a huge success. You didn't hear stories about players getting infected with COVID, other, staff getting infected with COVID. The event was a great event. Bryson won it. People loved watching it. It played at a great golf course, Winged Foot, with tremendous history. So other than not having fans on the course, and that was kind of strange, but it was good for people like me that was there because I got I didn't have to fight the fans to see things.
Yeah, you can sit wherever you want.
Yeah, I had a ringside seat wherever I went. It was great, and it was great that the USGA was able to still hold and have the US Open that year.
Yeah. Larry, I've got one more question before I got to let you go here. And this has to do with, Jeff mentioned it earlier, about OTG, the major food and beverage airport concessions. I have noticed that doing as much traveling as I do and being into all these different airports, just how good the options are these days. Tell me your two favorite places where you wouldn't mind spending 4 or 5 hours and hanging around at the concessions at airports.
Well, if you are flying on Delta out of LaGuardia, Terminal C, go to Bubby's. They they have great food. I also love when if I have to fly out of Newark, United Airlines. We have so many great places there. The Dumpling Den, our Global Bazaar. There's so many options in there, whether it's breakfast menu or a lunch and dinner menu. So we have great food. So Prime is another place if you want a steak. We're very proud of the culinary experience we bring to our airport passengers at LaGuardia, JFK, Newark, which is just 3 of the airports here locally that we operate in. Let me know when you're flying, you guys. I'll set you up.
Awesome. You can listen to the show on X, LinkedIn, YouTube, Spotify, Facebook. Please follow us, like us, comment, share, collaborate with us. We'd appreciate it. And again, our sponsors, the Tunnel to Towers. Larry, what we're going to do is we'll get your address. We're going to send you a nice set of leather-wrapped Scotch glasses
Thank you.
from the Tunnel to Towers. And maybe we could take these glasses on Sunday, September 28th, off the green, and maybe have a little toast after the USA victory there at Bethpage, which would be
we're definitely gonna win, Jeff. We're gonna as our captain said, we're gonna win. I appreciate the gift, and make sure that Brian Carnes gives you some Yeti Ryder Cup mugs. Otherwise, I'll give them to you. I love Brian. He's I call him my brother from another mother. John Hanley too, who I've known for many years at PGA. They're all great. The whole Ryder Cup team. I love them.
Yeah.
Great.
But we do appreciate your time, Larry, and it's going to be a great week for all New Yorkers and all of us, and just looking forward for the next 5 or 6 months.
Yeah, Larry, thank you for coming on. Give my regards to Craig Thomas, please.
I will. Frank, you got to work on getting Keegan to come up to Metropolis.
It's hard getting him to New York.
I know. I'll text his father, Mark, too.
Yeah, he'll be in the vicinity with the travelers.
Yeah.
So he'll be maybe driving by. So.
Okay.
All right. Until next week, get him straight, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good day.